Live from KTIV, this is SportsFource Extra.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of SportsFource Extra. And tell you what, we have a fast-paced show coming at you tonight that rivals the 7 seconds or less offense from the Steve Nash and the Suns back in the day. Plenty on the line as teams wrap up regular seasons, but few teams have more on the line than our Siouxland squad on the court in our opening matchup here. Walk with me here to my opening spot here. The 71 Nebraska Cornhuskers, the 1976 Dolphins, the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. Man, 1976 was a pretty good year. But the thing is, all three of those teams have one thing in common. Perfect seasons. There's nothing quite like an undefeated season at any level of sports, and an undefeated regular season is what sat directly in front of the top-ranked Bishop Heelan Crusaders, if they can get by Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. So, Heelan won this matchup by 27 earlier in the season. In the third, Crusaders' Melina Snoozy finds Ella Otten. Otten's there for the layup. She'll get fouled on it too, but the Crusaders lead by 19. Later on, Crusaders' Trishelle Miller gets the steal. She'll bring it in for the deuce herself. Heelan still leading big. We move on to the fourth quarter though. Miller, she'll dish to Otten on the inbound. Otten uses a screen to get some space, sends it home for two. Heelan wins this one 75-47.
I don't think any team from Heelan girls basketball went undefeated in the regular season. So there's a little motivation to go into the game, and you know, I kind of look back at it, and we had some really, really good teams, but that's never been done. So we're pretty proud of that. Our girls are proud of it, and now we just talked about taking one game at a time and winning 5 more.
Now the 21-0 Crusaders will battle either Denison Schleswig or Harlan in their postseason opener on February 21st at 7 p.m. Heelan boys, they've been hot lately. Can they hand the Lynx their first MRAC loss of the season? In the final minutes of the game, Prince Wegma dishes to Noah Conley, who sends it in from beyond, and it's a 3-point lead for Heelan. But the Lynx, they'll call back. Jake Babbitt able to get to the rack, spin, and win. But the Lynx trail by 1 here, and the Crusaders don't let up. Abe Scott passes to Grant Whitcomb. Whitcomb gets to the rack, able to finish amongst the tall grass. Heelan wins a close one, 68-64. Sioux City East girls looking for the trifecta. 3 wins in a row and a brouhaha against T-Area. In the first, Raiders, Jaylee Jackson, she'll get it up to Brittany Winklepleck under the net. But the Black Raiders trail by 3. They keep it going, though. Tori Drent will find Kennedy Reynolds. Reynolds from deep. It's good, and we're tied up. Later on, Black Raiders with the ball. Jackson gonna dribble, dish to Reynolds. Reynolds, she's able to kiss it off the glass for 2, and it's a 2-point lead for the Black Raiders, but the Titans find a little momentum here. Ellie Clayberg dishes to Jana Van Lecken for the deuce. T-Area goes on to win this one 62-48. Black Raider boys trying to stay above 500 with some bedlam at the border against 5th-ranked T-Area. In the third, Raiders, Jack Oman steals it, and Oman running the break himself, the big fella with a Euro step at the end there. However, East trails by 5. Later on, Titans Lane Sieber hands off to Griffin Wabenga. Wabenga sends in the triple. It's a 7-point lead for T-Area. Raiders find a little more momentum, though. Carter Ginger tossed to Liam Knoll for the corner 3. But ultimately, T-Area would go on to win a close one, 56-55. Well, I just figured I'd ease you into that Mount Rushmore style of basketball as we now head into that state with great faces and great places. That's where the Dakota Valley boys are living life well by the lake. The Panthers, they've won 4 of their last 5, including 3 straight ball games. So, DV trying to make it 4 in a row as they find themselves in a Donnybrook with Del Rapids. In the second, Warriors Carson Mason dishes to Jace Brett, gets the layup to fall. It's a 6-point lead for DR. Panthers call back though. Aaron Bruns walks up to the arc. Yeah, you can't give Bruns that much space. He's going to send that home almost every single time. But Panthers trail by 3, and they keep it going. Bruns at the arc again. Our team's not checking the scouting report on Bruns. The kid can shoot. DV goes on to win this one, 77-71. DV girls trying to get back on track as they battle the Warriors here. We'll pick things up third quarter. Panthers' Alexa Verdorn gives to Katie Betzworth. That bet was worth it, and they trail by 6 now. Panthers keep it going. Sophia Meyer dishes to Aubrey Worden, and Worden will send the double home, but the Panthers trail by 4. DV with it again. Worden Gets by her defender, gets to the rack, lays it in for 2, but it's still a 5-point lead for Del Rapids, and the Warriors don't let up. Elin Schoenhardt tosses the Jersey. Schultz gets the layup to fall. Del Rapids wins this one 48-35. Out in Orange City, the Dutch at MLC Floyd Valley, they've rattled off 5 straight wins, and they're beginning to catch the attention of the state, cracking the top 10 in the latest rankings. But can they prove that they belong up against the Dutch, the Boyden-Hull Comets? And don't get it twisted, the Comets aren't ranked, but they have been one of the better defensive teams in the state, holding teams to just 47 points per game on average, on their way to a 14-6 record. However, tonight, it would be the Dutch who would have the stifling defense in this one. Pick up, MLC Floyd Valley, moving the ball well. Carter Brightwell steps back into a 3 from the top of the key to increase the Dutch lead to over 30. Jacob Mulder with it, but Mulder prefers to handle the ball down low. He'll hand to Tyson Groendyke, and Groendike's more than comfortable from downtown. But the real story of the night, the Dutch defense. Albert Van Zee just reads this thing like a book. Picks off the pass. He'll put the cherry on top of a 64-29 win. In the Cornhusker State, the Hardington Cedar Catholic Trojans, they were just trying to get back to 500 on the season when they would hit the road to take on Summerlin. So, the Bobcats, though, they're trying to get off the schneid. They're in the middle of a 4-game losing streak, and Cedar Catholic dominating the offensive glass early on. After a handful of boards, Micah Cato ends up with the ball and is able to knock the deuce down. Summerlin trying to prove that they have some firepower on the offensive end as well. Aiden McAllister knocks it in from the mid-range there. The scoring coming from all over the floor for the Trojans early on. This time it's a pass to the near corner where Aaron Wertman is true for 3. And then, you know, later on in the opposite corner, the Trojans, hey, here's another corner 3 from Gavin Klug. Cedar Catholic extends their lead. They win 68-37. Meanwhile, Bobcats doing the same thing in the girls' game, trying to get off the schneid. We'll pick things up in the 3rd quarter. The Trojans of Cedar Catholic with a sizable lead, but the Bobcats cut into it. Jenna Funk cashes in on the mid-range jumper. Over the Trojans, will take those 2 points right back. Berniker drives into the paint. She'll get the layup to fall, and Cedar Catholic cruising in their regular season finale. Later in the 3rd quarter, Aniston Wertman pulls the trigger on the triple cha-ching. Trojans still up by double figures. We'll move to the 4th. Addison Walter, she'll take and make this shot from the mid-range. Cedar wins it 62-43.
You know, all season long, we've been working at the drills throughout the season, trying to run that floor and trying to get more spacing and better shots. And I think tonight the girls saw some of that, where they could get into spots and hit jumpers that they haven't been hitting. But they're clean, good looks that when they're confident, they do make them.
Neely Oakdale in a ruckus with the Renegades of Chambers Wheeler Central. Warriors leading in the 2nd quarter, and they'll tack on 2 more. Trevin Torres takes it to the rack for the lay-in there. Now, CWC, though, they'd work it inside to Daniel Kluver. He'll use his 6'4" frame to get his way into the post, pick up a pair of points there. But after exchanging those baskets, the Warriors decided they want to go for the long ball. Torres waits, thinks, fires, cashes in. Renegades turning defense into offense, though. Check this out. Jackson Wright says, hey, let me get a hold of that. Crosses over a player as well. Wright, and he'll, you know, dish it on over. Extra pass is made. Low block. Madden McManigal is the easy bucket to bring a couple points closer, but CWC wins 56-43. Same 2 teams going at it in the girls' game here. First points of this one, they belong to the Warriors of Neely Oakdale. Jacqueline Luna Duran gets the steal, and she'll lay it on up. Some of the same medicine later on in the 1st quarter. To steal, Warriors push the ball in transition, and Luna Duran able to lay it in for her 4th point. It's 4-0 at this point, and Luna Duran just keeps the hand in the cookie jar. There's another steal. This time she'll dish it off for a close-range bucket from J.C. Gattigan. It's 6-0 for NO. Gattigan working with the ball in transition. She'll decide to just, you know, handle this one herself. Gattigan goes up and over the defender for the shot. It goes. Warriors win 52-25.
I'm Paige from Sheldon.
I'm Lydia from Sheldon.
I'm Macy from Sheldon.
Coming up next is SportsFource Extra. Go Raiders!